Y'all, let's get back to it. Oh, Lord, I should have ran up out of here, Lord. Bless her heart. All right, let's get back to it.
For those who don't know, Candace Owens is a far-right podcast host and MAGA media figure who I think is genuinely suffering some sort of psychotic break. Ever since Charlie Kirk's assassination, she's gone full Oliver Stone. She has implied that the Israelis killed Charlie Kirk. She's accused the government of doctoring Tyler Robinson's text messages. That's the shooter of Charlie Kirk. She did a thing today, I think, where she talked about like there were underground tunnels in the area where Charlie Kirk was shot and suggested the shooter could have like come out of some hatch door on the ground. Like it was completely nuts. And of course, it's worth noting that like all of these conspiracy theories lead to more downloads and more revenue for her. And I checked the Apple charts today, Ben, and her show is at number 5 on the charts Tuesday, so she's doing pretty good. But anyway, we are here to talk about Candace's battle with the President and First Lady of France. So remember that Candace did an 8-part podcast series on the claim that Brigitte Macron, the First Lady of France, is a man. In response, a few weeks back, I should say it's not true. It's a widely debunked conspiracy theory that was manufactured by some blogger in France a few years ago. But Candace wouldn't let it go. And then in response, a few weeks back, the Macron family decided to sue Candace Owens for defamation. And it sounds like they're planning to win. During a recent interview, the Macron family lawyer said they are planning to present, quote, expert testimony that will come out that will be scientific in nature, end quote, and that they were prepared to prove, quote, both generically and specifically, end quote, that the allegations are false. I don't really know what that means. But the sentences made me uncomfortable. As we've discussed before, again, these allegations are nuts. Candace claims that Brigitte was actually born a man named Jean-Michel Trogneux. That guy is Brigitte's 80-year-old older brother. He is still alive. He lives in northern France. The family all grew up together. They're well known in their community because the dad owned like a chocolate business that.
Yeah, when you have candy asses like, frankly, my dear, sitting here supporting this nonsense, and she's an attorney and all, and she refuses to tell Candace Owens, listen, you need to have scientific evidence to prove that someone is born one gender over the other, because that's a matter of human anatomy and science and biology. It's no wonder that Candace continues to go on spewing the nonsense that she does. Even the attorneys that she has around her don't try to correct her on what is factually correct. Or at least tell her, if this is your opinion, leave it at that. Don't purport it to be a fact. Because frankly, my dear, you and I both know you cannot purport your opinion to be a fact without evidence.
Was pretty famous. Jean-Michel was with Brigitte at the Emmanuel Macron's presidential inauguration in 2017 and 2022. I think there's photographs to prove it. So it's just like, it's all nuts. So Ben, like the idea of a foreign head of state suing an American podcaster makes me uncomfortable on kind of First Amendment grounds, but there sure as hell seems to be some actual malice behind this one. So this could be a very, very expensive outcome for Candace Owens.
Yeah, we're really through the looking glass on this one. I mean,
they're going to win.
President of a hugely consequential ally is suing like a right-wing conspiracy theorist podcaster. Kind of, if you're making the, a Netflix show about being a...
Yeah, they got sick of it. Why? I'm sure the Israeli prime minister is up next. I mean, Josh Chambers should be suing her. You're going to have a lot of people suing her. This is just the start of it all, right? Because there should be some level of integrity that we have when we are doing our reporting. I consider myself to be an independent journalist. Having banter with, frankly, my dear, it's just the fun of it all. But in all things, I looked up information. I researched. I brought receipts. They brought nothing. They tried to make it seem like federal rules of civil procedure somehow it's a standalone thing from state rules. It's no, federal would trump our state, but whatever. So at the end of the day, if I say my opinion, it's my opinion that Candace Owens and the candy asses are a cult. It's my opinion. But that's based on how they conduct themselves, how they talk, how they think, how they don't question, how they don't do their own background research, how they fail to produce evidence on simple things. Like, is it mandatory to file a motion to dismiss? They don't bring the receipts. They don't bring the evidence, the information that anyone can look up. I bring this information forward to you all because I want you all to understand. This information is stuff that people need to know, especially when it's information that can be researched by anyone. Candace could easily focus on a severe issue going on in the United States of America, but she chooses to sit here and dip into international affairs and to create some level of controversy by saying the things that she says, not as her opinion, but to try to purport it as a fact. That is the problem. And her own attorneys refuse to tell her to stop doing it. Even her candy ass supporters, who are attorneys, will not tell her to stop doing it either. They just hop into our comment sections and tell us we're obsessed. Shout out to my brother Jay Witt podcast. One of the candy asses came over here today. It came for you, bro. Yeah, they sit here talking about we're obsessed with her. No, I'm doing a live about her. I'm going to keep reporting on her because she keeps lying. She keeps saying things that she's purporting to be a fact that is not factual. That's a problem. I don't care about her opinion. I care about the things she's purporting to be a fact. I've also reported on her previous lawsuits she's filed and lost. So, you can also look that up too, frankly, my dear. You can look at that. You look up our other videos where I've covered previous lawsuits that she lost like hell. That she filed. Am I owned by Israel? You keep saying that. Why don't you send me a super? Tell us what you're cooking for dinner. I thought I was wasting your time, honey. Shout out to my brother Jay Witt, my brother in Christ. Yeah, Israel owes us some money, Jay Witt. Apparently, frankly, my dear is like, they owe us some money. You idolize someone because they're rich. That's an idol. You don't do that as a Christian. You don't idolize someone because they're rich. Okay, I'm going. She's still rich. I don't care. She does not pay my bills or yours. You bragging about someone else being rich, because reasons. I told you can't out debate me, girl. Why do you care about her wealth? She's obsessed with her being rich. Y'all, you know what? What's going on, Michelle? Also, she purports to care about Christians, but has not once spoken about Christians being slaughtered in Nigeria by Muslim extremists. And her cursing the land and children. It's demonic. It's exactly what it is. Frankly, my dear, thank you for giving us a great show. You know nothing, but we'll still welcome you either way. I don't have a reason to be. I'm not mad at anything. You're just not well researched. Okay, you're an attorney. I need you to do better. All right, got to do better. You trying to sit here and talk about semantics? Come on now, you got to do better. You talking about somebody else's money? Send Lady Luck a cash out to bless her and keep the channel going. Thank you so much. Shout out to you, girly whirly. You know what? Frankly, my dear, sitting here talking about Candace Owens is still rich. Who cares? What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose their soul? I make an honest living. I'm glad you're here. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose their soul? Why does her wealth seem to be of importance to you? You make an honest living? Fine, send me a super. You don't want Israel sending me money. You sit here talking about somebody can't send me money, but you're not sending me money. What do you mean? What does that have to do with you talking about she's rich? Now you want to get serious? Frankly, my dear, I'm not studying. You sit here and entertain us all. Let me finish up this video and I'll drop some more knowledge on you. Frankly, my dear, when we get done. Okay, sit tight.
Live in 2025, like this would have to be an episode. That's all I really have had to. This is fucking crazy. The only thing is, did you see the Macron got held up by Trump's motorcade for 30 minutes and had to call him on the phone?
Oh, that's a hard.
He called Trump and was like, "You're holding me up. I can't cross the street to get to I think the French UN mission." And then they made him walk 30 minutes around. So, we're doing wonderful things for U.S. French relations
Yeah.
these days. Although I guess the French don't like Macron either, so maybe it's actually helping U.S. French relations.
Yeah, I think we his approval rating at 15%.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Candace is still lying about someone having a penis. It's the bottom line.
Yet her cult following now, go in the chat section, read it yourself. Now, because they're buying into these radical conspiracies, they're saying we don't trust anybody but Candace Owens
What's
only.
going on with this?
Candace is the one that's investigating. Everybody else is deceived and crazy.
Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what's going on with the video here.
Yet her cult following now, go in the chat section, read it yourself. Now, because they're buying into these radical conspiracies, they're saying we don't trust anybody but Candace Owens only. Candace is the one that's investigating. Everybody else is deceived and crazy. And now her cult following is even questioning Erika Kirk.
Yeah, why is that happening? Why is Erika Kirk being questioned? But yet, she said she has no issues with Erika Kirk, right? You know, this being her best friend and, you know, so-called brother's wife and all that she loves so much. This woman has 2 small children that she's going to have to raise without her husband because we all witnessed this man murdered in front of everybody. And Candace Owens is now insinuating Erika Kirk is involved. And for what? Views. See, I have how many people in this live right now? 54 people in this live. 54. I could talk about something else that will get more people in the live, but I'm talking about something that's very serious. When you're insinuating people into a murder, you're insinuating that they committed a crime. How's that not defamatory? And who would be okay with someone insinuating that they committed a crime so heinous as a murder that we all saw on national television? How is Candace Owens being a good Christian right now? Or a friend? How is she?
Now they're actually insinuating, and some are outright saying that they believe Erika Kirk was involved in the assassination of her own husband. They're going out there and trying to find the tears. I don't see all the tears. I don't see her melting down and breaking down when she was speaking at his celebration of life.
I mean,
none of us have been through it. If you think you know what it's like to lose, maybe somebody has lost their spouse. And if you have...
And not just lost your spouse. You've lost your spouse in front of the entire world. On national television, and you were there in person and you saw it for yourself. People were there in person, they saw it for themselves. And you have 2 children you have to take care of. Your world just drastically altered and changed. You think I care about someone accusing me of some money when you have this level of integrity on the line here, where she's insinuating that anyone, Josh Hammer, all of Israel, the Israeli prime minister, now his wife, had something to do with this murder because she didn't cry enough. It's like Candace Owens and the candy asses have no soul. It's gone. It's all about what they want to say, but no evidence to support it, no documentation, no research, and no soul. They feel nothing about that. Just complete impact, just done. Non-empathetic. How do you conjure this up and you claim to be her friend?
I'm very sorry for you, but I bet the majority of the people that are actually criticizing Erika Kirk has never lost their spouse before, and they think they know how they're going to react. You don't know how you're going to react to something until you're in the moment of it.
Exactly.
You can get all these conjured ideas of how you think you're going to react to something. You don't know until...
No soul.
All right.